Here's how this works. Water, salt, and pepper, those are freebies. Your pantry, it better have flour, oil, vinegar, mustard, and garlic. Beyond that, you'll only need 5 more ingredients and 25 minutes to put an entree or entire meal on the table. So, shop, set the clock, and let's dish out. We'll get started with some plain Panko breadcrumbs, or you could use regular Italian seasoned fine breadcrumbs. We'll need the services of a lemon, a couple of eggs, a nice green spring salad mix, and of course some pork. I prefer pork tenderloin, but you can certainly use pork chops as well if you don't want to go to the trouble of pounding your pork out, as we are about to do. We want to make sure we get any excess fat and silver skin off of our tenderloin. They're usually pretty well clean, but you can often find a little bit of silver skin. Just run your knife blade under it and pull it away. Not the end of the world if you don't do this, but it's really hard to pound these nice and flat if you have silver skin on there. So we're just going to cut these into like 3 to 4 ounce chunks. Once you get to that thicker end of the tenderloin, you're definitely going to want to cut them a little bit more narrow, and then just take out all aggression on them. Really be careful here. Don't pound it too hard or too fast. You don't want to tear the meat. You just really want to flatten it out to about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. Something about like that. Looks just about perfect. So we'll rinse and repeat with our remaining pieces of pork. Once that's done, we're going to crack a couple eggs, beat those, and season them with some fresh cracked pepper and salt. And then alternating, we're going to use one hand to dip the pork tenderloin or pork cutlet into the egg, and then using a dry hand, we will coat it in those crispy panko breadcrumbs. Really press down. You really want to work those breadcrumbs into the meat, and then set that aside. You want to give it about 10 to 15 minutes to let those breadcrumbs kind of adhere to the pork. Once you've got them all breaded, we are going to do these in a nice shallow fry. Since we do only have olive oil at our disposal here, I'm going to add enough of that to a medium-sized skillet over medium-high heat to give me a nice little layer in the bottom. And then once it is hot, I will add in that little cutlet and give it about 2 minutes on that first side. This goes really quick because of how thin the meat is. Give it another couple minutes on that second side, and once it is nice and golden brown, we will evacuate it to a wire rack to drain. And also we're going to hit it with an additional seasoning of salt right here, since we didn't actually season the meat yet up to this point. Go ahead and add more oil if needed, and rinse and repeat with your remaining pieces of pork. Once those are done, just tuck them into a warm oven, and we'll make a nice dressing for our salad greens, beginning with the juice of half a lemon, about a tablespoon worth, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a few tablespoons of red wine vinegar from the pantry. We'll season this with salt and fresh cracked pepper, and then enough olive oil until it is a vinaigrette to your liking. Some people like a very punchy, sour vinaigrette. Some people like it to be more oily. So just whisk it, taste it, and add vinegar, lemon, or oil as you see fit. To plate this up, we'll put a couple of cutlets down on a plate and grab our salad mix and our vinaigrette and just very lightly dress those greens in that nice lemony vinaigrette. We'll toss those greens in our dressing and then serve them up right over top of that nice crispy, warm pork. Final component here, and by the way, get as fuzzy as you want to with those greens. I had to take a nice picture for the thumbnail, but it really doesn't matter. The final component is going to be a few slices of fresh lemon, which I've tucked in there in the corner. Now let's give this a try. And I cannot tell you, this lemon is not a garnish, folks. It is a key to this dish. You absolutely need that acidity and vibrant, punchy, sour citrus note. Cuts through the fattiness of that crispy fried pork and adds much needed acidity to the dish. That pork is super juicy. I'm telling you, it cooks so fast in no time at all. Man, that is a really crispy, satisfying bite. The salad helps to keep the dish from being too heavy overall. You could definitely do this with chicken or even with steak. I hope you will give it a try and let me know what you think. It's definitely one of my go-to quick weeknight meals, and hope it'll be one of yours as well. Thanks for watching. Now go make something delicious.